So this video is a PSA to anyone who has children, wants children, is raising children, or has influence over children. Not just married couples, foster parents, single parents, whatever. Children need godly men in their lives. And I know that might not be popular to say in today's culture, but I'm going to say it anyway. Because society will tell women, you don't need anybody. You don't need a man. You can do it all by yourself. You can be the mom and the dad. And listen, many women have had to do it all by themselves. Many women have had to carry the weight, wipe the tears, pay the bills, pray the prayers, show up to the games, cook the meals, help with the homework, and still get up the next morning and do it all over again. So this is not about putting shame on that or saying that that's wrong, but we have to be completely honest with ourselves, especially when it comes to our kids. Just because a woman can carry something doesn't mean she was designed to carry it alone. God designed family. He designed community. God designed fathers. God designed men to have a necessary role in the lives of children. And we can't just let culture convince us that men are optional. My father passed away when I was 12 years old. And when I tell you he was one of the best men, the most wonderful men I could have ever known, I mean that. He was a child of sharecroppers. He came from very humble beginnings. He moved up north, worked really, really hard, and made something of himself. And then he invested deeply in his children, financially, spiritually, and emotionally. And I'm not saying this to boast. I'm saying this because even though my father passed away when I was young, the foundation he laid in my life still speaks. Over 30 years later, I'm still TJ's daughter. And back home, people still know me that way. The way my father loved me, the way he taught me, the way he protected me, corrected me, and showed up for me shaped the woman that I became. It helped to shape what I believe in myself, what I believe about myself. And it helped to shape what I expected from a man. My father helped me to discern the kind of husband that I needed in my life. And after my father passed away, my mother, God bless her, she still had help. She had her community. She had my father's brothers. She had her own brothers. She even had, people around in our community that help to fill those gaps, because it matters. It's very important. They say it takes a village because it's true. Children need their mother's nurture. Yes, there are things women carry that are deeply powerful. We carry our children in our bodies. We form them in our womb. We nurture, we comfort, teach, guide, and hold so much together. But there is also something invaluable that godly men bring into a child's life. They bring strength, structure, protection, backbone, discipline, resilience. And yes, mothers can teach those things too. Let me be clear, mothers are not weak. Moms are not incapable, and we are not helpless. But children often receive different things from mothers and fathers because they experience us differently. A mother can teach strength, but there is something powerful about a child seeing strength modeled by a godly man. A mother can teach resilience, but there is something so powerful about a child watching a man stand firm, lead with humility, work hard, repent when he's wrong, protect what God gave him, and keep on going. The Bible gives us examples of the importance of fathers teaching and guiding their children. Proverbs 22:6 says, "Train up a child in the way he should go, even when he is old, he will not depart from it." And Ephesians 6:4 says, "Fathers, do not provoke your children to anger, but bring them up in the discipline and instruction of the Lord." That verse doesn't say that fathers are irrelevant. It gives fathers responsibility. It gives fathers spiritual weight. And Proverbs 20:7 says, "The righteous who walks in his integrity, blessed are his children after him." That means when a man walks in integrity, his children are blessed by it. His example is important. His presence matters. His leadership makes a difference. His character matters. So, for the women who are not yet married or still have the opportunity to choose who they'll build a life with, please hear me and hear me clearly. Discern carefully. Don't just ask, is he good to me right now? Ask deeper questions. Who are his people? How was he raised? What does he believe? How does he handle pressure? How does he treat his mother? How does he speak about women? Not just to women. How does he speak about them? How does he respond when he's given correction? Does he have humility? Does he have discipline? Does he have a vision for his life, for the life he wants to have with you? Does he have a relationship with God, or at least a desire to grow one? And yes, sometimes people come from broken homes, and some people didn't grow up with structure. Sometimes people were not raised in church. Sometimes people didn't have a good example. But as adults, we have to look at what a person is choosing now, what their patterns are, what their short-term history was if they've changed. Are they healing? Are they growing? Are they actively seeking wisdom? And are they willing to be led by God? Are they building something solid? Because when you choose a man, you're not just choosing who you like spending time with. You're choosing the man your children may one day look to for an example. You're choosing the voice that may shape their whole identity. And it's beautiful. You're choosing the person who may help teach them what love looks like, what leadership looks like, what correction looks like, what commitment looks like, and what faith looks like in real life. And let me say this too. If you're already married or you already have children and you're looking at the man in your life and you're thinking he is not holding up his end of this bargain, that doesn't automatically mean you head for the hills. And let me say something else. If there is abuse, anger, violence, or serious harm, that's something completely different. You need to get help and get some wise counsel and get out and get safe. But if what you're dealing with is immaturity or inconsistency, frustration, lack of confidence, or a man who's trying but struggling, then the answer is not to tear him down every day. The answer is not to even badger him or bring it up repeatedly. The answer is not to tell him over and over again what a terrible husband, boyfriend, or father he's being. The answer, as redundant as it may sound, is to pray and then pray some more. The answer is to ask God for his wisdom. James 1:5 says, if any of you lacks wisdom, let him ask God, who gives generously to all without reproach. That means if you ask, he gonna give it to you. Okay? So you ask God, Lord, how do I support this man without enabling sin? How do I speak life without pretending like everything's fine? How do I call out what's good in him while still being honest about what needs to grow? Because here's the truth. Men need encouragement too. Just like women need emotional support, men need a vote of confidence. They need to know that somebody believes they can become who God has called them to be. They need to know that the woman beside them is not just waiting for them to fail. And I know that can be hard. It's been hard for me in the past. And that's an area that I needed to grow, especially when you feel like you're carrying everything all by yourself, especially when you're thinking, well, who is going to encourage me? I get it. But sometimes God uses marriage, motherhood, and family to pull things out of us that we didn't even know we needed to work on. Sometimes God uses your man to teach you how to soften. Did you ever think about that? Sometimes he uses that relationship to teach you how to speak up, because sometimes you have to help him. Sometimes he teaches you how to encourage instead of try to control everything. Sometimes he teaches you how to let someone lead even when you're used to doing everything on your own. And sometimes God teaches you how to tell truth in love, not with disrespect, not with contempt. And that's another hard one for me. Not without manipulation, but with love and wisdom and firmness. And I'll tell you, it feels good when you can do that, because we have to be conscious of how we treat the men in our lives. We can't say we want godly men and then spend all day mocking and belittling and dismissing and undermining them. We can't say we want our sons to grow into strong men while constantly speaking as if the men in our lives have no value. We can't say we want our daughters to marry well while modeling like bitterness toward men in front of them. Our kids are watching us. They're listening to us, and they're learning what to believe about men, women, marriage, family, leadership, and love by what they see at home. And I'll use myself as an example. I am a daddy's girl through and through. I grew up with a father who poured into me. And because of that, I do a lot of things that people might typically call manly things. I chop wood. I build things. I light fires. I teach my kids practical skills. I teach them survival skills. I love taking them out camping and backpacking. I teach them how to use tools. I am not afraid to get dirty, carry heavy things, or figure out how to fix something. But that does not make me a man. And it doesn't mean my children don't need men in their lives. I'm still a wife. I'm still a mother. I still nurture. I still cook. I still clean. I still care for my home. But I also know that being capable doesn't erase God's design. And this is where culture gets people extremely confused, and it's sad. Culture will tell girls, if you like so-called boy things, maybe something's wrong with your identity. Culture will tell boys, if you're gentle, creative, quiet, or not interested in certain stereotypical masculine things, maybe something's wrong with your identity. But that's not biblical wisdom. We don't subscribe to that here. Skills do not determine whether you are male or female. Interests do not determine whether you're male or female. God made men and women with specific purposes. Genesis 1:27 says, "So God created man in his own image. In the image of God, he created them. Male and female, he created them." Both men and women are made in the image of God. Both have value. Both have specific purposes, and both are needed. And when we erase the value of either one, children suffer. So no, this is not about saying women cannot build a table. And this is not at all saying a man can't cook dinner or nurture his children. There is place for all of that. There's definitely some overlap. This is about saying God made men and women with purpose, and children benefit when they're surrounded by healthy, godly examples of both. If you're a single mom, a widowed mom, divorced, or raising children without their father present, please do not hear discourage. Don't hear this message as a discouragement. Hear it as encouragement. You are not less than. Your family is not doomed. God is your redeemer. Psalm 68:5 says, "God is father of the fatherless and protector of widows." You got a VIP seat. God sees you. God sees your children, and he can provide support or covering, wisdom, and community in ways that you may not expect. But don't buy the lie that you have to do it all alone. Pray for godly men in your children's lives. That may be a grandfather or an uncle. That could be a pastor. It could be a coach, a mentor, a trusted family member, a godly man in your church community. And please use wisdom. Everybody does not get access to your children. But when God provides safe, wise, godly men who can speak into your children's lives, don't reject the help out of pride or fear. Children need that community. Families need community. Mothers need support. Fathers need encouragement. And men need to know that they are not disposable. God didn't make men unnecessary. God did not make fathers irrelevant. God did not design families by accident. So my encouragement is exactly this. Choose wisely, pray deeply, and support the good in the men around you. Tell the truth when things need to change. Don't tolerate abuse. Don't enable sin. But also, don't let culture train you to despise the very role God created men to fill. Our children need fathers. And when that's not possible, they still need godly men and women around them who can help point them back to the truth, because raising children was never meant to be a pride project. You were never designed to do it alone. It was never meant to be, look what I can do all by myself. It was meant to be faithful stewardship. And part of that stewardship is admitting when you need help, knowing when your children need covering, giving them good examples, using wisdom to teach them, and building a community around them. And yes, children need godly men in their lives. So let's stop right now pretending that men don't matter, because they absolutely do. And when godly men show up, lead well, love well, protect well, repent well, and serve their families well, generations are blessed because of it. So I hope this little video reached you in some way. Please let me know in the comments, and I'll see you in the next one. Be blessed.